episode.
3, 2, 1.
Final Encountercast. Interesting conflicts, not conflicts of interest.
Typical corporate bullshit.
With your hosts, Nate, Robbie, Chris, Nika, and Callie. FinalEncountercast.com.
Ready? Get set? Go!
Hey, what is up? Welcome to Final Encountercast.
What is up? I am a cool, hip person. How are you doing, homies?
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
I have no idea.
It is the new year. Please make sure you are having good one
Okay.
today.
I think Christoph has been replaced by robots.
I think he's broken.
Did we?
Fix him.
Did the nicknames break him?
I am broken
He's like,
inside.
I can't even handle Nosferatu. If we hear that one again.
I can't even.
Anyway, thank you
Give
for
me pumpkin spice latte.
joining us here on Final Encountercast. We appreciate you guys joining us. We took last week off because it was Christmas. Yeah.
Sure was.
Are you sure?
That definitely happened. Yeah, we did not do a show last week.
Feels like Christmas was forever ago.
It kind of does. I mean,
This week does, like, I can't believe it's only been a week since Christmas.
let me.
That is weird.
You know what? It never felt like Christmas to begin with.
Oh, would that be because we were here doing a show?
No, well, I mean, that might be part of it. I don't know. But it just, to me, it never really felt like Christmas.
It felt like Christmas because I have family that loves me, and I spent it with them
Instead
at
of
their residence.
Instead of working.
Yeah.
Like you should have been. We had a lot to talk about.
We did.
And then we talked about it this week. So there you go. I was creating content for you.
No, we just had to do the show over again. Thanks a lot.
You're
you
welcome.
Jackass.
What else were we going to talk about?
Anyway, so thanks for joining us here at Final Encountercast. We've actually got a lot to cover. We've got a lot of news, a lot of stories. I don't know if there's a lot of news.
I don't want to call this news. I would call this...
It's funny.
This is 2 weeks of stories that we've collected. I don't know that it's
great.
news.
Oh, come on.
Don't know if you would qualify that as news so much. Anyway, by the way, we want to mention that you can find the show on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. If you're joining us live on Twitch, thank you guys so much. You can also call the show. You can also call the show, always call the show. That's what I meant to say. Final Encountercast on Skype, 810-207-1764. Juxta is standing by to take it. Chris, Nosferatu.
Can I have a different name? Give me a Christmassy name.
Okay, how about
New
Christ?
Year's name.
Christ.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's Christmassy.
You
and
used to.
But he was
call
Christ G. I thought that was his
Christ
permanent
G.
Christ G.
Christ G.
G Christ. Yo. Dog.
No.
Oh, my.
I think we're gonna just have to come up with a new nickname for this episode.
Oh, good.
For the new year.
It's your boy, Christ G.
No.
Boy.
Stop.
No.
Boy.
No.
No.
Spelled with a
Don't do that.
B-O-I.
Yeah, I know.
That's the boy.
It's your boy. I picked up on that.
It's your boy.
Stop it.
That boy.
Anyway.
Oh, shit, what up?
FinalEncountercast.com is the website. If you want to subscribe to the podcast, you can catch that every week, even if you can't be here. But since you are here live, thank you guys for joining us live. Again, Final Encountercast on Skype, 810-207-1764. And also, if you want to support the show, and we would hope that if you listen every week that you would want to support. Patreon.com/Limit Break Radio is where you can find the support for Final Encountercast, keeping that total there above 2,000 a week, or 2,000 a month rather.
A week,
I know, a week would be great.
We'd be doing something very different.
I know, right?
Kidding, obviously.
Keeping that above 2,000 a month is what keeps this show weekly. That's what I meant to say. Obviously, we do have a new show in the works. You'll start hearing a lot more about that in the next couple of weeks, probably 2 weeks here. But if you want to be one of the first people to listen to the demo that we've got for this new show, just $1 a month over at patreon.com/limitbreakradio is how that gets done. All right, let's check out what's going on in the news.
I'm here to do the news tonight.
And that's the way the news goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this program to bring you important news.
Here's a story that's out of this world.
Well, EVE Online is a proverbial goldmine of trolling and fun, and this Christmas was no exception. A massive Secret Santa was held, and one player decided to complain about the gift he received, a skin for the Purifier ship.
Oh, what garbage.
He complained for a while on the forums until another player caught wind of it and organized a group to send the complainer units of carbon, the closest in the in-game equivalent of coal.
Oh, nice.
Thus far, the player has received over 6,000 units of carbon.
Wow.
One at a time.
That's hilarious.
That's really funny.
Yeah, so his inbox is just constantly full with carbon. That's great.
That's hysterical. That's one of the fun. This is the kind of shit that I love about MMOs. It's the only kind, that's really the only place where you can do something like that and just have forever troll. I hope he receives the coal in his inbox until 6 months from now.
Oh yeah,
it should be July.
It's done, and then somebody will just send another one.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Just keep doing it, man. Just keep that dude's box full until. July,
and that's such a
August.
fun way of trolling someone too, rather than trying to dox their shit. He was complaining about an in-game thing. You troll him in the game, and it's fun, and everyone can enjoy it. And he's gonna be pissed, but it's also funny.
Dude, organizing a group of people to send you units of carbon as a troll, takes so much effort.
Hilarious.
That's work. I appreciate and respect that.
Yeah, even if I was the guy getting it, I mean, it would be annoying, but at some point, on some level, you'd be like, God, I gotta respect that.
You just stop checking your inbox, but eventually there'd be that one really rare thing you need to get out of there, and you just can't get through all the
Right? Yes, exactly.
It's damn. What kind of dick are you complaining about a Secret Santa present?
That is also a very good point. That is kind of a dick thing.
It's possible, though, that he put in something worth way more than what he got, so it kind of feels like maybe there should have been a limit on it, or
Supposedly the person who drew him was newer to the game and didn't really know what they were sending. But
then
still,
fine.
It's a Secret Santa. That's what it is.
It's a Purifier ship, man. That's grade A garbage. Nobody wants a skin for that.
I have no idea what that is.
Eve?
I wouldn't know.
I mean, it'd be like getting a skin for Ana or something. Nobody likes Ana in Overwatch.
I got that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that you played a lot of Eve.
Oh, no, I don't.
He's just making shit up. He's just saying stuff to say.
It's called context, you guys. I can understand that the Purifier ship is terrible.
Gotcha. Blizzard has responded to player criticism of their Winter May skin in Overwatch. No, don't worry, players weren't mad about it being too sexual or insensitive in any fashion. They were just mad because it sucked. While the effects of her weaponry were changed, the Santa outfit was little more than a recoloring of her normal skin. Blizzard did apologize that what the development team thought was cool in this case didn't line up with the community, but that's all. They just said, hey, yeah, okay, sorry.
I know a lot of people that liked it, but it seems like they were already hardcore players of May in the first place, so they just were like, hey, new outfit.
All right. Well, the problem was that they called it a legendary skin, and when you have legendary skins, that usually changes the model a little bit,
Yeah.
And this was literally just basically a recolor.
That's fair.
And then that means it costs 3,000 coins, which is kind of.
I'm just saying, if that terminology specifically means something in the Overwatch community, fine, okay, that's acceptable. I get that. That's totally fine. That would be, Game Freak saying we're going to give away mythics, and then they give away a whole bunch of legendaries. You'd be like, what are you
aren't mythics.
Yeah, what are you talking about, Game Freak? You're fucking up your own terminology. But if it's in keeping with that, then that makes sense.
I mean, it's basically just the reason that people are mad is because it costs so much.
Yeah.
Basically.
How much was it?
I mean, it's 30. It's 3,000 coins if you want to buy it, just like any other legendary skin, but it just doesn't change the character model much. So people are mad that it wasn't a blue or a purple, basically, is what they're saying.
Okay.
Fair enough.
The end.
Speaking of Overwatch, we got confirmation over the holidays that Tracer, the game's main mascot, is gay, or at least bisexual. A comic they released over this December shows her kissing her girlfriend after receiving a present from her. The internet was mostly happy, predictably some hilarious anger too. Some people who were mad about this, their posts are hysterical, including one guy who's like, wait, so I've been playing Tracer all this time, now Blizzard's trying to make me gay? and he has the word the word boy in his screen name, BOI. I'm like, I don't know that it was Blizzard.
What even?
Getting an extremely gay vibe.
I think it's cool that a game's main mascot's gay. That's sweet, but I don't think it's a big deal.
I can only masturbate so many times, though. That's the thing.
Now, you have all the lesbian tracer porn to go. Yeah, because there was none of that
there's
before.
so many.
Yeah, there was none of that before.
Oh, I know. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know that there wasn't any.
Yeah,
I'm sure there was
patently
plenty.
false. Trust me on that.
I mean,
I have done research on the issue.
I'm sure.
I mean,
sticky research.
A Pornhub treating you.
I do have the stand right behind me. I mean, just don't look too close at it. Seriously, don't look too close at it.
Yeah, we don't touch
There's
it for a
holes
reason.
in it.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me just say, paper cuts are painful, man.
Yeah, paper cuts are, but
I mean,
cardboard.
That's cardboard.
Worse.
It has a way of having the same effect.
Okay, thank you for that. I want to throw up. A glitch has been uncovered in Pokemon Sun and Moon that makes shiny breeding quicker than ever. The glitch allows you to effectively swap the gender, nature, IV inheritance, and shiny status of one Pokemon to another by resetting the game. That's kind of a big glitch.
Yeah, definitely a big glitch right there. I don't know. I mean, I've seen a ton of people saying that, yeah, it actually checks out. I guarantee you that this is going to be patched when they update the bank, though.
Wait, it's just by resetting the game, or is that the trick where you can be like, oh, the 12th Pokemon I hatched was shiny, so now I'm going to go back and hatch 12
yeah,
that's
exactly
that's
what it is. Yeah, I
mean, that sounds more like a
thing.
technique to me. Like, that means every 12th one is going to be shiny, so you just
That's not a technique.
That's a glitch. That is something wrong in the programming. That should not happen.
Yeah, no. That's definitely... Because the thing is that you have to, literally, soft reset the cart. Like, you not the whole thing, not reset the save.
Well, it's more like, okay, that's true, but you're also
you have to reset the system.
Figuring out, I mean, I assume it would be different every single hatch too, right? So the first time, okay, the 12th one I'm going to hatch is shiny, so then you reset it, hatch the 12th one shiny, and then you have to figure out again. It's not going to be the 12th one again, so then you have to
but it's still way faster than any old method.
It's way too janky to be a feature. It's way too janky to be a feature.
And then you can, just keep resetting if you don't get, the right nature or ability, right?
I don't know enough. I don't know enough about it. I haven't tried it. Again, I'm still waiting for Sun and Moon to be bankable for me.
For your stupid Kabutops. Yeah, I know. Shut the fuck up about it.
I think it's more fun to play through a new Pokemon game, knowing nothing about it, knowing nothing about the new Pokemon, and just going through it. And then once you're done, get all your old stuff.
Fuck you. You're dumb.
Apparently,
no.
Nate disagrees.
I've never played through a Pokemon game that way, and I actually thought that Platinum, because I did actually start I had to buy another copy of Platinum, by the way, and I started it recently. I've only gotten through the first gym. I've not played much of it at all. I just haven't had a whole lot of time to play, but had to buy a second copy because the original copy that I bought that had all the shinies on it, one of the grooves in the teeth broke.
Oh,
no!
And it would read the cartridge, but it would only read it maybe a third of the time. And I was like, dude, there's no way I'm going to be able to play this if it's constantly bugging out and freaking out on me. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll buy a new cart. And I got that, and I got a copy of White too. And I thought that Platinum was going to be the first time I was going to play through the entirety of a Pokemon game without having a Kabuto or a Kabutops. But I discovered today I had a bunch of unhatched Kabuto eggs on Soul Silver, and you can just trade those.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Wow, I was really worried for you there.
I was really worried for me, too.
Heaven forbid you play a game without a fucking Kabutops.
Yeah. I won't ever know what that's like.
Thank goodness. A website...
I don't
know.
Enough. That's so mean and funny.
A website has compiled every gender they could find on Tumblr into a list. And dear God, that's the end of that news story.
That's it?
Just dear God. I couldn't get through the A's.
Is it insufferable?
Oh, it's beyond insufferable.
I mean, is it just...
What's your favorite one?
What is your favorite one?
There was one that identified with a gender that identifies with a swamp and or bog.
Oh yeah, bog gender. That's my favorite.
What? That's not a gender. That's a self identity of like
Nika. Oh my gosh, you are so offending me right now. Oh holy shit!
It was
so
rough,
not cool.
man.
Oh my god.
My favorite is the ham sandwich gender.
See, that is what made that list so utterly insufferable. Because I'm like 80% of these are trolls.
Sandwichkin, come on now.
Maybe, but also but sandwichkin is a species identification, not a gender.
I literally just made that up.
I know.
I didn't
Sandwichkin is
even
not a
bother.
thing. But there's all those people that identify as animals and they actually believe that they're kin
did
something.
not
But
even-
that's a species, not a gender. So how could that be part of a gender list?
Oh,
I did not even bother to validate this story with a click. And you just went with it. And
What about cami gender? That's a gender which is poetic and rhythmic in nature.
Dude, I'm telling you, I couldn't get through the A's.
Cas flux, when your level of indifference towards your gender fluctuates. So you can be cast gender, right? Feeling as if the concept of gender is unimportant to you. But if you want to take that to a next level, your cast flux, in which your level can change. In which your indifference to your gender.
Some days you're indifferent and some days you really love it.
Yeah. Well, some days
But again, I also feel like that is a mentality and a that is not a gender in itself.
Cas flux is very much a gender, Nika, and you are triggering my mouth right now.
I feel like having indifference toward gender does not actually change your gender.
Oh my god, is there a cat gender? There has to be a cat gender.
There is, I'm
definitely.
sure. Nako gendered.
Oh, it's probably under feline.
Again, that would be a species identification, not a gender.
Yeah, here we go.
Because cats have male and female gender too.
Excuse me, Nika. Right now I am feeling felis gender. It's a small cat-like gender.
Oh god, I like Malkithera's turbo gender, a gender that you have tried to figure out but is too confusing and tangled. I'm just saying,
at least that's a gender, not a species.
Malkithera is trans. I am openly bi-gendered, and we look at this and just go, "Dear God in heaven."
This is why Donald Trump is going to be the next president.
This is why he's president.
This is exactly why. Because this is completely insufferable. And any rational person who comes across this, the fucking parts of their brain start to shut down around the fourth or fifth mouse scroll down. Honest to God, this is so fucking annoying.
Now, I started reading the article, and I'm like, all right, I saw an update where they said they had added 35 new ones to it, and I misread that as to say that there was now a total of 35.
Oh my God, no, there are so many more.
It's probably close to 70 million genders.
Look, the Tumblrinas of the world just need to really disconnect from that whole insular, isolated community, and just go be around normal people for a little bit. Just go anywhere. Go to the gas station. Somewhere where
go to the gas station.
go anywhere.
Go to the fucking BP.
Walk to 7-Eleven
right now.
Walk to 7-Eleven just to get some perspective. Go back and reconnect with the fucking world. This is insanity. This is just total. It's collective insanity, and to validate it is just.
I want a video. I want a video of 50 Tumblr users just all hanging out in a 7-Eleven. That should be a TV series.
What do you guys think Genderramas is?
Genderramas?
Genderramas.
Like Nostradamus?
I guess Genderramas.
Where you are knowingly smart about all gender and consider yourself all and inclusive of every gender.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I don't know. It says see flirt gender, so I'm gonna go check that one. Yeah, I have to go look at that one to get this definition of gender.
Okay.
Well, I'm scrolling.
You're going the wrong direction for F, you idiot. F comes before G.
Does it?
Yes.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Oh, flirt gender. A gender where your primary interaction with gender feelings is that flirtatiousness, either with the gender or the people in the outside world, also known as amogender or genderramus.
Good God in heaven.
I don't even understand.
What? Really?
You know what? I've got it. Tumblr just doesn't know what the word gender means. They just don't know the definition.
They clearly don't know the difference between gender and species. That is a fact.
Nick is very caught up on the species point.
To be fair, there's over 80 of them now that are species.
Don't you think all of these people should just go play in traffic for a little while and this whole problem will sort itself out?
Again, I'm telling you, 80% of these are trolls. Is there making them up?
Is there a traffic gender? Is there a oncoming traffic gender? Is that a possibility? No, probably not. I guess.
All right. Oh, good. We're on even better news. Go ahead.
But I want to say one more.
Go for it.
Fawn gender.
Wait.
Fawn gender?
Fawn.
Wait, now, because there's fauna and fawn gender. What?
Yeah, I'm talking about fawn, not fauna.
Okay.
Fauna is just gender influenced by animals. Fawn gender is gender that is explored through timidity and caution, but blossoms into something natural and cute. Like a fawn.
Can I leave? Do I have to stay?
You do, because
I feel like I've earned it. No. I feel like I've earned this. I feel like I can take the next hour off. Someone else can read the news. I typed them all out. I should not have to deal with this.
Oh
my God.
I know, because only you get the distinct honor of reading this next story.
Oh, good. A new A&E series titled Generation KKK will be giving a...
Tumblr is the reason why we can't have nice things.
Yeah,
that is true.
That is true.
No, actually, this new A&E series is the reason we can't have nice things. A new A&E series titled Generation KKK will be giving Americans a weekly look into the lives of white supremacists.
Americans.
Americans aren't going to watch it.
Well, that's
Americans.
A look into the lives of white supremacists. The debate is ongoing whether this spreads awareness or normalizes racism. I'm going with the latter.
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends on the lens through which it is viewed. If it's not unlike your Hoarders television program, where they really don't, they show the people as sick, but they're pretty unflinching about the degree to which they are ill.
Right.
Like, so if it's a little bit more like a Hoarders, where they're like, look at how fucked up these stupid people are, and makes a sideshow out of it, or even better, if it makes it seem clownish and funny. I'm all for mocking racism. I'm all for openly making fun of racism. But if it seeks to normalize it, if it seeks to humanize being in the KKK or being a member of the KKK, I'm going to just go ahead and recommend that A&E pull the existing episodes and they just re-air the footage of the riot that happened with the KKK members, where they're getting stabbed on video. That's what I think. You can run that. You can run that for 30. Nobody died. They just got They got stabbed. They got stabbed a couple of times by some punks. I can't remember where this happened, but we played it on another show. But yeah, I think that would be preferable. You could air that on loop for 30 minutes. As opposed to the premiere, if the premiere seeks to humanize or seeks to sympathize with members of the KKK. Fuck that. I'd rather see him get stabbed and bleed out into the streets.
Fair.
I just realized there's not a gender for racism.
I'm sure there is.
Being a bigot. I looked. There's no
a gender
bigotry.
that just excuses you. You're just always racist because that's just who you are.
It's all vomit inducing.
That sounded horrible coming out of my mouth. I don't ever want to say that again.
A little, yeah. All right. What else do we got here? Oh, this just gets better. While not formally announced, Brianna Wu has confirmed she will be running for Congress in 2018.
Oh.
Her platform is economically based, looking to bolster infrastructure and foster startup companies. Good platform, actually.
Where is she running and for what? I mean, the platform sounds nice.
Massachusetts, I want to say.
The thing is, though, is that her track record in the ability to portray issues reasonably and even-handedly, I think, is I could never vote for.
Wait a minute. No, she's going to fit in great in Congress. Are you kidding me? Professional victim and blows things out of proportion?
Yeah, well, I mean,
outstanding.
I could honestly, I could never vote for Brianna
A
Wu.
woman? Oh my gosh, you are so sexist.
Yeah, that's true.
Sexist gender.
Jeez. Well, fortunately, you won't have to. You don't live in Massachusetts, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, part of me is like, this is cool because it is someone who is known in the gaming industry who might.
No,
no, I can't even defend it. I'm trying.
Ooh.
What can I do?
Ooh, pedal that bike back a little bit. Wow.
Malky says, "Don't worry, guys. I live in Massachusetts. I'll not vote for you, Nate."
That's good. Thank you.
Great.
Problem solved.
I take a lot of issues with the way that she's portrayed a lot of the causes that she's attached herself to. And I don't think that she's someone that is fair or honest or is someone who should hold public office. But then again,
honest, fair.
We just
these things go hand in hand with public office.
We just totally put the fucking guy from The Apprentice into the White House. So
Rick Snyder's our governor. Look no further than Michigan.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
Wow, politics are depressing, aren't they?
They always are.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about McDonald's. A Chicago area bus driver has brought a lawsuit on McDonald's over their extra value meals. After paying $5.90 for a 2-cheeseburger meal, he realized that the price of 2 cheeseburgers, French fries, and a pop was only $5.49. Obviously, 41 cents isn't a big deal, and he hasn't specified an amount he's looking for, saying that it's more about the principle. And better still, his lawyer is trying to turn this into a class action thing so everyone can get in on it.
Why the hell are we talking about this?
I just thought it was sweet.
This is bizarre.
We've got a couple bizarre stories this week.
This week.
We got a sweet story about a cougar later on. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I
find the best story.
Is it the sexy kind of cougar?
No. It's the animal kind of cougar.
Well, I mean...
Well, it depends on what gender you are.
If you're a fearless gender, then.
And yes, I know, gender has nothing to do with sexuality. Don't start.
I also learned that I'm secretly a furry.
Oh, God. Shut up, you furget. That is the best derogatory term that I have ever come up with. Because I've come up with a lot of them.
I was going to say, I'm not happy that you have things to compare it to, but okay.
I have a large book of them.
Yeah.
But only I know what they mean most of the time. Except for that one. That one's very obvious. That one, you don't need any additional context to understand what I mean when I call you a furget.
Fair.
Greatest conversation ever.
No, but you know what I did see recently that I thought was really interesting? Have you guys ever watched Adam Ruins Everything?
Adam Ruins Everything? No, what is that?
It's a show on True TV now, but it started as, I want to say, a thing out of College Humor.
Okay.
And this guy, Adam, who has probably the gayest haircut I've ever seen in my life, he goes through and he talks about like common misconceptions. It's sort of like Mythbusters, except a little bit more pithy and millennial aimed.
Okay.
And I'm no more than you, so I'm going to talk down to you about this thing. But one of the things that he did was, what is it called? It's the lawsuit, the McDonald's lawsuit of the woman who had
burned himself.
Who burned herself.
Yep.
And there's, the amount of misconceptions that do exist about that court case are really surprising.
It doesn't ever mention that it was so hot that it burned through her clothes and gave her 3rd-degree burns through her leg.
Oh, yeah. And, it's definitely worth a watch. Like, it's definitely worth watching. But that's just what I thought when I saw this story. But then, when you break it down into numbers, 41 cents doesn't really seem comparable to losing an entire crotch worth of skin.
And like I said, this guy, he claims it's more about just the principle of it. He wants to get everyone to be like able to get like a coupon or something ridiculous. It's just saying like, guys, quit labeling it as an extra value meal. It costs more than buying the things in the meal.
That's fair, I guess. That is fair. Yeah. And
well, it is false advertising at its core.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
It is. I wonder how much he could get from this. Like,
yeah, that's interesting.
He's definitely not going to sue for 41 cents. But, no. I would. Like, what reasonably do you think he could sue for. I mean, and if they're actually seeking to make it a class action lawsuit, that means that those lawyers are going to go after them for millions of dollars.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to find out.
That may be an interesting story to keep an eye on. Sorry for
You're welcome.
I looked at it. I was like, this is great.
You fucking asshole.
Did you put that on the outline?
Of course I did. I get all the good outline stories.
Because originally I looked at it, I'm like, this isn't gaming news. And then I read it, I'm like, nah, this is great, though.
This is
It's kind of interesting. Yeah, fair.
And don't worry, I'm slowly turning FEC into a news podcast for everyone's benefit.
I see that. Good job.
Some of them are good, though, so...
All of them are good.
The Pokemon Go holiday events are well underway, with starters spawning at an increased rate and pop rates for Gen 2 babies upped on eggs. Some players were also delighted to see the silhouette of the female trainer on the screen no longer dislocating her spine to pop her hips out. Other users were angry at the change.
She had a beautiful, bootylicious curve, and people decided she was too sexy, so they toned down her butt.
Did you see the bend in her back?
And most people I saw are actually pissed about it.
Yeah,
my back hurt looking at it.
It's like a 70-degree angle. It's weird.
I mean, she was popping her head up out really weird, but she also had a very bootylicious booty, and they got rid of it, and that was
she was banging.
She was hot. And they're like, no, it's too sexy for a kid's game. We're going to change it. Like, are you serious?
But again, of course, as soon as they change it, then the other side gets mad. When are people going to learn? Just stick with what you start with.
Look, I had 3.5 weeks of Kabutos spawning at a nest. Okay,
everything relates back to fucking Kabuto.
3.5 weeks of a Kabuto nest, and
you sound like a madman. 3.5 weeks of a Kabuto nest.
What do you think I had to jack off to? It was that booty. That booty.
No, Kabuto. You can't fucking fool me.
Okay, you're right. It was.
What are we yelling
That
about?
Kabooty.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh my god. All right. Persona developer Atlas has created a new team to work on a brand new IP codenamed Project Refantasy. Little is known so far other than it's a fantasy setting RPG and looks to return to the roots of original Japanese industry RPGs.
Shut up.
So again, they're just trying to to pull on your nostalgia and nothing new or innovative at all. Awesome,
yeah, shut up. This is like not even really a thing.
I don't know. When does Atlas make things that are good? I don't.
You like Persona?
It has been. I mean, Atlas.
No, come on. You can't label me as liking Persona for liking one game.
And Catherine. Atlas made Catherine.
They did make.
Did they make Catherine?
They did.
Okay, Catherine was all right.
Atlas is just like the most anime company.
It really is. That's what makes me kind of dismiss them. If I'm honest, if I'm totally 100% honest, I'm not up on the Atlas games because they're way too anime. I'll readily.
They are, but man, some of them are really good.
Oh, she's calling you out, Nate. Your Kabuto gender.
Oh.
All right, that's fair.
Fair enough.
Sexually attracted to Kabutos. That's not a gender.
Hold on, yeah,
I don't identify with Kabutos. I'm sexually attracted to them. That's a different thing.
So that's your sexual orientation.
That's right.
Maybe you're Kabuto fluid.
Oh my
I hate you.
So I actually didn't notice until you could make Kabuto your buddy that he actually has like little grooves in his back that look like a booty. I don't understand.
Those are
I didn't know that.
Those are Nate's love handles.
Yeah, he has like weird little grooves. Like I just had to stare at it and be like, wait, is that like craters in his back?
Yeah, Nate,
That's where I put my butt.
Nate, what is your stance on cloaca?
You just sit on it and wiggle around a little bit.
It stinks to high heaven, but damn, does it feel fine to put your penis in.
All right. Remember how
is it sad? Is it sad, or is it worse that I was able to go for the gross joke, or is it worse that I know what the fuck a cloaca is?
Definitely the first one.
Okay, all right.
Definitely.
I also learned that I'm secretly a furry.
Look, I'm just saying. Look. It's not a whole lot of fun to perform oral sex on, but
Wouldn't you like?
But when it comes to putting your dick in something, a cloaca is a fine orifice to put it in.
Well, I guess if it's cold or if it's hot out, it's a little cooler.
Oh.
Okay.
What were we? We were talking about Atlas, right? Like that's the thing that we were talking about. We were talking about Atlas games, and somehow we got onto cloacas. I'm sorry, I have a boner now.
No,
I don't know what to do with it.
It was easy. Atlas, anime, Cloaca, yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
there we go.
It's easy.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
easy.
no, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's one of the two. It's either tentacles or cloacas with anime.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, Nika?
Hey, remember how before this episode I was like, man, I'm feeling really nauseous.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
It's
not getting better.
Oh, it's getting worse?
A bit.
Oh, poor baby.
Oh, it's so sad.
It's a pretty brutal job sifting through all that darkness.
Final thought on Atlas. I'm just not into their shit.
Great.
To anime.
I'll try. I will try Persona 5, but I'm just not.
I mean, but if Atlas is trying to, I mean, I don't know if Atlas has really done a traditional JRPG in a very long time. But if that's their goal
Persona
is to go back to the nostalgia, I mean, maybe it would be okay.
Everything from Persona is pretty much old school RPG. I don't even know. I don't know that much about Persona 5 to know.
Yeah, I can't
what the fuck the plan there is. But I think that they are pretty rooted.
I thought Persona had some like dating sim elements and shit.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, what is a dating sim outside of just like a reskinned RPG?
Fair.
Kingdom Hearts fans were excited to learn that Hikaru Utada will be returning to sing the main theme for Kingdom Hearts 3. Apparently, that was in question at some point. I don't think so.
Yeah, because she's actually been on hiatus because she had a family and babies and stuff.
Okay.
So
it's actually in question because we're not sure if we're actually getting Kingdom Hearts 3 or not.
Oh, that's the question.
A lot of people on my friends list were like, "This is why Kingdom Hearts 3 was waiting so long, as they were waiting for."
Oh my god,
that's horseshit.
I would love for Square Enix to try and make that announcement. Well, we had to wait and watch everyone riot.
Horse shit.
Oh my god.
I mean, obviously it was a joke. But
Yeah.
Kidding.
Oh
Obviously.
my god. I actually want to see that riot break out. It'd be great.
Dude, I'm so over the whole idea of Kingdom Hearts. I was never on board, but I'm just like, I'm tired. I'm actively sick of hearing this shit.
I'll make sure to put more in next week.
You know, Square Enix really did a good job with the Kingdom Hearts series when they made World of Final Fantasy.
You wanna bridge that joke gap there, Chris?
Basically everything that everyone wants out of Kingdom Hearts, but in a good package, because it has all the Final Fantasy characters and it's actually got a good story and very funny, and it has none of that shitty Disney people in it.
Says the guy who's like the biggest fan of Disney that I can name. Right,
That would be right here. That would be right here. Me.
You watch Frozen like for fun?
Really? No, my.
Well, I am Frost gender on occasion, so. Actually, a gender.
No, it's not. Don't.
It is. I looked it up earlier. I was gonna work it in somehow, but I couldn't find a way.
Wouldn't that just be a temperature?
No.
Does that just mean you identify with being cold?
You're just really cold all the time?
No, your gender.
I guess I'm
my girlfriend's frost gender. Oh my god.
What is the definition of frost gender?
Something when it's cold. Cold and fuzzy.
Wait, when you're cold, your gender changes?
Nika, let me just. Here's the definition. It doesn't fucking matter.
No. The definition is easy. The definition of frost gender is when someone asks you what your gender is, you tell them to let it go. Get it right. That was for you. There we go. Mr. Walker president and Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi will be...
Hashtag mute the fuck out of Nose for Fat 2.
Hey, what?
Because our creativity is at an all-time minimum
Done.
Today.
Yeah. I don't feel like changing it back to Christ G.
You suck.
Well, you don't have a mic.
I have drops.
He does have drops.
Yeah, you're right.
Mr. Walker president and Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi will be revealing his new secretive game in 2017. His studio is currently working on a console version of the popular Japanese mobile app Terra Battle, but we don't know if the two projects are related, but it's all coming this year.
Really hoping that the two projects are not related.
Please don't be.
I want him to
I feel like
announce something really big.
If it's a super secret game, but we already know about the other game, then it's not so super secret. So it's
I gotta think it's something else.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not. Yeah. Why would it be? Why?
Because it makes you mad.
Nika made fuck off. Nika made a really good point. Why would they go out of their way to say that it's a super secret game and that? But
then they just talk about a game we already know.
Yeah. That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It makes total sense.
A 6-year-old in Arkansas managed to use her sleeping mom's thumbprint to unlock her parents' phone and went on a little shopping spree. Using the Amazon app, she purchased $250 worth of Pokemon themed gifts, only 4 of which the parent was able to return.
Oh.
Oh, no.
That's pretty funny.
She literally waited for her mom to fall asleep to get her mom's thumbprint to take her phone and use her Amazon app. That's terrifying.
That is clever as fuck.
That's first of all, that's clever as fuck. Second of all, that proves that your super awesome, security protection isn't half of what you think it is. Like, if your fucking 4-year-old can figure this shit out,
6-year-old,
whatever.
You're whatever.
What happens when the fucking KGB wants your fingerprints to unlock your phone?
KGB.
I don't know.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Comrade.
Well, hey, you know what?
Give me das thumb.
Hey, second Cold War is coming. Mark my words.
Second Cold War's kind of here, isn't it?
You know what?
It's going to be a hot war. Thank you very much.
It's going to be very hot.
I don't like
this. Well, I mean, if I was that parent, I'd just be like, welcome to your next 5 birthdays. Here you go. Hope you were happy.
I just like maybe just your PIN is the best way to go with. Maybe not thumbprint. Maybe something that requires you to be actively thinking.
Yeah.
I use my fingerprint on my phone.
It takes so long.
Well, that's why you're going to have your phone stolen and your thumb taken off
by your 6-year-old. Because you were pregnant, remember?
No, you're right. A room full of little kids all the time. They're going to steal so much from you.
That's right.
Well, how would I be around my children when I'm sleeping though? Like my kids are.
They're going to put.
I don't sleep in my class.
They're going to put Ambien in your coffee.
Drug you.
They're going to. Yeah, they're going to give you. They're going to give you a Snow White apple or something.
I'm gonna get poisoned and roofied by my 5-year-old, and they're gonna take.
They are ruthless.
How do we get teacher to fall asleep?
Have you seen these kids? They're fucking ruthless.
My dad's got a room full of roofie coladas. We can use one of those.
I do have 6-year-olds in my class. This is the age of that child we were just speaking of. So I guess I won't put it past them.
I wouldn't. I fucking wouldn't.
Do you think maybe we have too much power on our phones?
Maybe
a little too much.
A little bit.
Maybe not enough.
Yeah, this is why I don't do shit like link my credit card to my phone, like have that like quick pay thing. Fuck all that. No. No.
You enter the information every time?
I leave my phone in stupid places far too often for that to be okay. For that to be anywhere remotely acceptable.
Maybe you should just be more responsible.
Why?
Fair.
Yeah.
A man. Oh yeah, here we go. Cougar story. A man in Alberta, Canada, had a run-in this week while he was getting coffee at a local Tim Hortons. Of course, he's at a Tim Hortons.
What else do they have in
While
Canada?
he was getting coffee, he heard his dog yelping in distress and going to see what the problem was. He noticed his pet being attacked by a cougar and ran over and punched it in the head.
Fuck yeah!
Which is so awesome. With the help of his family, he was able to fight the cougar off, and police later found and killed the animal.
Like, yeah! Is this guy like cousins with the dude who punched the shit out of the kangaroo?
Oh, I hope so.
Like, what is
separated at birth? One in Australia, one in Canada.
I mean,
both fighting animals.
Dude, good for these guys, because I mean, like, they're defending their dogs, and I think that's fucking awesome. But I mean, like, how crazy is it to have 2 stories, wild animals that attack dogs, and like the response from the human being is to just, I'ma punch it
right in the head.
Fuck you, asshole.
I just love that he specified, like, he didn't be like, well, I punched the cougar. He's like, I ran over and punched it in the head. That's amazing.
The plot twist of this story is that it actually was like a 53-year-old woman.
That would be a plot twist.
That would be sweet.
Wait, the cougar was a 53-year-old woman?
Yeah.
That would be a plot twist.
Yeah.
And
I
significantly
thought you meant the
darker.
No. Yeah, this story is weird.
Yeah, he walked outside and saw some 53-year-old woman in a low-cut top
biting the shit out of your dog.
And he just punched her in the head.
That would be my response. I mean, far, like that would.
I mean, that's true. If I did see a 57-year-old woman biting my dog,
biting the shit out of your dog. Well, they don't specify. Did they specify the breed of the dog? Because it could have been. I mean, honestly, this story could have been a 53-year-old woman biting the shit out of like a Chihuahua or something.
Poor Chihuahua.
I know, right? He was justified. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I would punch a woman for biting a Chihuahua.
I probably think that at that point it is justified.
Your Chihuahua or any Chihuahua?
I mean, I guess it depends. If there's like a little girl carrying a chihuahua and a woman also takes it and bites it, I would probably still punch that lady.
What the fuck are we talking about?
I just want to see. I want to see how specific Nika's morals are on this.
Wait a second. You don't know the context of what's happening here. That woman could have bought that chihuahua fair and square for lunch, and she's just chowing down because that's what a street meat vendor had sold her the chihuahua.
No, but she took it from a
and it's
6-year-old
wrapped
man.
in a tortilla. At that point, it's her legal right to be eating that chihuahua. You have no right to come up to her and hit her in the face. That's fucked up. That's assault.
I don't know if it's really a legal right in America or in Canada to be able to eat a chihuahua. I don't know.
I want to make sure I hear this correctly on the first time that like this 5-year-old girl takes a bite of the chihuahua and then the older lady does. So you go hit the older lady. You let the little girl get away with it.
Well, no. The reason that you're punching the lady is because that lady just stole that little girl's lunch. That's not fair. That little girl paid for that chihuahua in the tortilla.
Yokiro chihuahua.
This is not nice.
I have no idea how we got here.
What the
we got it from a cougar. Oh my god.
Oh my
See?
god.
I give the best news stories.
We had to make that news story awesome and somehow relevant. Just saying.
I'm spent. That was exhausting.
Do we have to do these last two stories?
Do we?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're gonna hate them. All right.
Oh boy.
Carrie Fisher is being honored in Star Wars The Old Republic with players gathering at House Organa and sharing stories and thoughts. Fisher, who played Princess Leia last week, followed one day later by her mother, Debbie Reynolds. What are the odds of that?
Yeah, that is...
Well, I mean, it's definitely that her stroke was probably brought on by stress over Carrie's death in the first place. And being already like 84... that kind of happened.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like we're doubling back around on this topic, and we received a lot.
We've talked about it before.
Holy shit! Did we receive a lot of flack the first time we did this when it was Awada? But look, I just got to say, I am so fucking tired of the death tributes on Facebook and on social media, because here's my problem with it, okay? And this is the part of it that I did not articulate very well the first time, is I feel like it's a very fundamentally selfish thing to do, because what you're doing is you're taking that person's death and you're making it about you. You're trying to be like, oh, well, this is what she meant to me. And you know what? Guess what? No one fucking cares. Not a single fucking person cares what Carrie Fisher or Debbie Reynolds meant to, or Sting, fucking any of the, I don't think Sting died. David Bowie, thank you. It doesn't fucking matter. No one gives a shit. No one's gonna read those. No one even barely likes or comments on any of them. Did you see how many of them there were the day that Carrie Fisher died? Mm-hmm. No one could like or comment on any of the other ones because they were too busy posting their own fucking in memoriam.
I disagree unless you're profiting. There are people who are like, oh, hey, in tribute to Princess Leia, buy my sexy cosplay print. And we're like, no.
That's shitty. That's even shittier. That's even shittier.
You're some kind of moron, you know that?
Here's what I saw some people do where I'm like, that I don't mind, is they just would like Facebook or tweet out the link to her actual obituary. I don't have a problem with that.
Look, I'm just saying, look, when the blood clot burst into Debbie Reynolds' brain, she was not reading tweets about how much you miss Carrie Fisher, okay? No one gives, objectively, no one gives a shit. Stop it. Stop trying to make everything about you. This is the whole nature of social media that drives me fucking crazy. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what 99% of you have to say about Carrie Fisher dying. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that she's dead. It doesn't change the sentiment around the fact that she died. Everyone's gonna be sad. No one gives a shit about how you fucking feel about it, or how it affected you, or how her life affected you. It's not. You didn't know her. Unless you knew her, you have no reason to openly mourn these people when they die. Celebrities should not be mourned any more than anyone else.
See,
and that's
I'm gonna disagree
I
with
fucking
you.
hate
Now,
that.
Obviously, other people aren't going to care why you miss somebody, but there are reasons why celebrities or certain people mean a lot to you or helped you get through a tough time. Like, I mean, I'll just give an example of one
That
of my
is
friends from
fair.
Facebook.
That's
Listen, no, I'm
fair,
not
but
gonna
keep
share
that in your heart. Keep that to yourself. No one
but
cares.
It's a coping mechanism. It's not that they're obviously trying to say, "Hey, look, this is all about me," because a lot of those people, especially ones that are struggling with mental illness or drugs, as Carrie Fisher was, and was
if you need a
spokesperson
coping mechanism to cope with a celebrity's death, then you have way more fucking problems than I can name in a single breath.
Well, maybe, but when there's people like someone on my friends list was like, okay, I've had all these, mental health disorders, I have bipolar disease, whatever. And once I found out that Princess Leia also had these problems and she was fighting through this and she was strong, blah, 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 she became this role model, helped me get through it and all that thing, which is fantastic. And so when someone like that, who's been such a changing force in your life, dies, it does hurt. And so you can't say that they don't have the right to be sad or they don't have the right to miss a celebrity even though they didn't personally know them, because that person could have been a very strong inspirational force in their lives. And so
I didn't say no one has the right. I'm saying show a little bit of backbone, show a little bit of fortitude, show a little bit of strength that maybe she inspired in you, and don't go to fucking social media. Don't go to objectively the least that you can do, which is write a status or write a fucking YouTube comment or write something or share something on social media. If you want to do something, if Carrie Fisher's death actually meant that much to you, go spend $50 on some kind of mental health fund or charity, and do make yourself feel better that way. That's doing some objective fucking good. Donate in her name someplace. Don't sit there and tell me that a fucking Facebook status or a tweet is doing anything to memorialize her. That's taking what thought is in your head, writing it down for 7 people who are going to read it, and then thinking that you're doing a whole lot or that you're sharing some part of your heart. Go fuck yourself. You're not sharing anything. You're taking one of the most polished pieces of you that you're willing to share with other people, and you're taking somebody else's life and death and taking an opportune moment to share that thing that you're comfortable about sharing. Very few people actually share things that they're uncomfortable to share in the face of something like this. Okay? I'm just saying, if it means something, if it actually meant something, do some quantifiable good. Don't just fucking write something on social media. That's bullshit. That gets old. Unless you knew her, I don't give a shit about what you have to say about Carrie Fisher. Period. Unless you're Harrison Ford, unless you're Mark Hamill, I don't give a shit about what you have to say. You don't have any insight into her life. Those people do. I'm interested about what they have to say. I'm interested in the stories that they're going to share after her death. I don't give a bum fuck about what 75 people on my Facebook feed have to say about Carrie Fisher. I honest to God don't. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting to read all of that shit for like 3 fucking days. I can't stand it anymore. Dude, we're at a point where medical technology can only do so much. These people who we've placed on pedestals in our culture for decades are aging and dying.
When Nate eventually dies of a rage-induced stroke, I'll fill up my Facebook feed with Rip Nate Bender. Such an amazing and kind soul. Missing you so much. 1 like equals 1 prayer.
Dude, I am gonna. I said that
1 like equals 1 prayer.
I said the exact same shit around Owada's death. If I died tomorrow, don't you dare fucking post a thing about it on Facebook. That would be. I'm telling you.
Well, see, we know you though.
And I'm actively saying it out loud. That does quantifiably nothing. And it's actually, I would see it as an act of disrespect to what I would want from my death.
I'm going to post
Period.
Nate. I'm going to post Nate wouldn't want this. That's why I'm doing it.
Same. That's my reply.
And see, but also, wouldn't it be different if, like, us at LBR posted about it because we know you and we have insight into your life, whereas a random listener, obviously.
Yes, that would be a lot different. But I'm telling, no one on my Facebook feed knows Carrie Fisher, has ever met Carrie Fisher. But
I know people that have met her at conventions.
Well, maybe. But actually, I take that back. I maybe know 2 people that maybe have met her. But anyway, that's not the fucking point.
Stop messing up the point, Nico.
The point is that it does quantifiably nothing. And if she actually did mean something to you, and you want to actually memorialize her instead of doing what literally everyone else is going to do, fucking give something of yourself.
Straight up. No, you
donate. Yeah. Donate money. Donate time.
Yeah, find one of the charities that she championed for mental health and donate $50 in her name.
Donate, volunteer, whatever, man. That is quantifiable. That is actually doing something. I think that's important. I think it's important to distinguish between the two because it's
I mean, it absolutely is. But if it's a coping mechanism for someone to share how they felt about her with other people who also have strong
go write it in a diary,
as well as donating $50.
Go write it in a diary. Then I don't want to read it.
Emphasis on die.
Make it a private status. I don't want to fucking read this shit.
With your friends. Stories and other things that she may have done for you, and then them sharing with you, like discussion with your friends. But if you do that on Facebook as well as doing something proactive, is it still wrong?
Well, who does though?
No one.
I actually know a few people who were doing things like that, and I don't know.
Just to go back to the original story, the stuff that they did in Star Wars: The Old Republic is that's justified. That's justified. That's an appropriate setting to do that shit.
You're in a Star Wars game.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just saying, I'm done.
All right, one more. Are you ready for another one? You all right?
Why didn't we space these out?
Oh my god!
Here we go. A female Call of Duty streamer by the name of I'm gonna go with Zoe Burger on this one. It's spelled very strangely.
Yeah, Zoe Burger.
Zoe Burger. Okay, was banned from Twitch this week for showing too much skin. This streamer would shake her ass during the kill cam, scantily clad though never X-rated. The streamer still maintains an active presence on Twitter and YouTube.
No, was she actually banned for showing skin, or was she banned for booty shaking? Because I feel like I've heard about her a really long time ago. Actually, like last year, I feel like I watched one of her streams.
I don't think she's anything new. She's been around for a while.
Yeah, she's definitely been around.
So, like, if she's been shaking her ass on kill shots and stuff for at least a year, why is she just now getting banned?
That's a great question.
It's a
Especially because she said never X-rated, which means she wasn't showing like tits and ass. So,
right.
I mean, she was showing a lot.
There was a lot, but it's like a one-piece bathing suit.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And I mean, here's the thing.
You could legally wear it on a beach.
I feel like, you know what I feel like? I feel like this is Twitch giving into 2 very prevailing forces that exist in the Twitch broadcaster community. The first one are all of the ugly chicks that go, well, she's hot and I can't market myself like that. That's not fair. And they report the channel for violating the rules.
Right.
Okay? Then there's the other contingent of people who don't have vaginas who are really mad that they can't market themselves in the same way, that they can't take their physical attractiveness, of which they have none, and market that. And they get really pissed.
Callie.
And they get really pissed off, and they end up reporting the channel over and over again. And if you go to any of the like boards, like subreddits or anything where Twitch streamers are talking to other Twitch streamers, this is a shockingly common conversation that comes up about booby streamers and about basically women who use their attractiveness. I'm not even going to say sexuality. I'm going to say attractiveness to be able to market their channel. And they get all worked up and they get, oh, well, that's not fair and they're violating some kind of rule and Twitch should be able to make rules on this and that's not fair and we don't want this to become chatterbait and all of this other stupid bullshit that is tangential to the point that they can't market themselves like that, so it makes it an unlevel playing field.
Take off your clothes!
What is the actual Twitch rule, though, on this? I feel like if she's not showing more than the actual rule, skin-wise, and she's just, like, shaking... Is there actually a clause in Twitch that says no ass shaking in the camera?
And I think...
It says they were suspended for violating the following category.
Other terms of service violations. Like,
yeah. What? Yeah. So, basically, Twitch... I know that Twitch made a rule that... I know that Twitch made a rule that basically you can't stream shirtless. I know that.
Right.
Like, that was a pretty clear rule. Outside of that, I don't know that they have any direct rules about attire or clothing.
You know what?
So this seems really arbitrary to me. And again, this seems like Twitch caving to a lot of those whiners out there going, man, that's not fair. She's violating something. I honestly think that this is someone who is right on the bleeding edge of violating something, but still technically following every bit of the rules, and Twitch banned them anyway. That's fucked up. I mean, Twitch, seriously, that's really messed up for Twitch to be doing.
Would I be banned if I streamed in that swimsuit?
Yeah, but on a completely different premise. Just on common decency, yes.
No, well, what if we had a dude shaking his butt every time he got a kill? Like, would that
that would be an interesting experiment.
I'd be.
Who wants to volunteer?
That'd be an interesting experiment.
We could get Joe to do it.
We could do.
Joe never fails.
We could do the rest of the show like with our shirts tied up in in shirt bras.
Shirt bras.
Shirt bras. In a show of solidarity with Zoe Berger.
None of us.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Fuck y'all.
Are we doing it?
Fuck y'all. I'm doing it.
All right, let's do it.
I'm doing it.
I'm scared. We're gonna get banned.
Fuck it. If we get banned, fuck it. I don't care.
Don't look yet. I'm scared.
Here we go.
How do you fucking do this?
I don't know. It is kind of complicated, isn't it? I don't know how to get it.
Oh God! Why do I fit so well? This is very bad.
Juxta's like, I'm feeling a whole bunch of new complicated feelings.
Whew. Man, this is rough.
Mine is not fitting very. There we go. All right. Show of solidarity with Zoe Berger.
All right, we are solid with Zoe.
Kind of close.
I just can't do it with two shirts.
Can't show any nipple though.
Yeah.
My nipples are covered.
How does this work with you?
This is a nudity for me. I don't know.
Oh,
what?
Damn.
I don't know.
Shit.
Where do I follow the double standard?
You know what? Oh, we are really muddying the waters for Twitch now.
Muddying the waters?
Yeah.
That sounds like
fecophilia.
No, I was gonna say bog gender.
Damn it.
Oh God. So yeah, I don't. What is the problem with this? What is the fucking problem exactly with I think if that's a way that you can market yourself, not saying
Take
that
off your clothes.
I'm not saying that this is a good idea for us. I'm just saying this is
not saying we're gonna make any money this way.
This is a show of solidarity. This is a show of solidarity.
You're not even doing it.
I can't get this top doesn't work with this.
Mine was weird too. It's fine.
Get this to work.
Have you never had a shirt bra before?
Honestly, it's been a very long time.
I would do this when I was like 5 or 6 years
this
old.
is a thing that guys do regularly.
Yes, it is. Everyone does this when you're younger at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, Nate, the chat is pointing out your under boob going on.
Oh, I do have some.
That is tasteful under boob.
Yeah, that is right. That's right.
Underboob, yeah.
That's right. I've got. What you don't know is I've got tape right here on the nipples, and that's what's keeping the whole works in place.
Kelly, right. I don't have the boobs for it. It's true, I don't.
Look, I don't understand what the problem is. Like, if this is a way that you can market yourself, if you can market yourself off physical attractiveness, then you should be able to market yourself that way on Twitch as well.
Which, by the way, I really appreciate this girl who does it this way, because she's like, she knows what she's doing.
She knows exactly what she's doing.
Like, oh, was I showing too much skin? She's like, hey, what do you think of this bikini? It's pretty sweet, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you go to her YouTube channel and her Instagram page, and believe me, I did check all of these pages.
Very thoroughly.
I believe you.
Vigorously.
For research, right? For research.
For research. That's right.
Over and over again, back and forth, all over the desk.
Look, the fact of the matter is that this is how she markets herself across all platforms. And if Twitch is going to be a part of her marketing platform, then yeah, she should be able, that should extend to this platform as well. And if Twitch truly does have a problem with that shit, then they should be shutting us down.
Boys and Callie.
That's right.
Oh wait, you know she would twerk for kill shots. Should we twerk for donations?
Oh my god.
Oh my, try it.
Yeah.
All right. Show of solidarity for the burger.
That's right. That's right. There we go.
Woo, woo. All right.
Really bad at twerking. There you go.
Your boob shirt's falling down.
I know.
What the?
I know. My solidarity is dying.
Not very solid.
I know.
More like liquidarity.
I can tell you're very comfortable in the attire.
I feel
I'm
out
like
really
5
well.
seconds behind on the stream and just watching.
Man, I would have brought like a mini skirt today if I knew we were going to be doing this.
I sort of feel like we should encourage our chat room to now report us and see if Twitch can. I mean, like, honestly, like, if you're gonna be that way about it, fucking be that way across the board.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if she got banned, we should be banned.
We're just jumping on the bandwagon now.
We're jumping on the bandwagon.
Oh!
Now, my question is, can you not be shirtless, or do you have to like have something covering your nipples?
I think you have to have something covering your nipples.
I think
Can you just wear pasties? I don't think that's
No,
yeah,
you
like
can't.
if we took
you cannot just wear pasties.
Oh, okay, all right.
What's a pasty?
So we couldn't just take electrical tape.
Tape it?
It's like when you see, like, you know, when strippers put like a star over their nipples and that's all they have. That's
okay.
pasty.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oshieter wants to know if he can increase his donation. Yes, you can.
Okay, now my next question is, what about pastries?
Can you use
On the
pastries to
nipples.
cover your tits?
Yes.
I don't.
Like a
There's not a
donut.
rule against it, I'm
Is-
sure.
Like in that one fucking, what was that football movie with the?
He'll give money for this type of entertainment. This opens up a slot for FEC fanfiction.
Oh, God.
Working. Shake those asses, homies.
Oh my God.
For a fakeathon.
Fapathon.
Fapathon.
Fapathon. we got twerk.
Oh God. No.
We're really gonna keep that bit going.
For $10.
Oh my God. I can't wait till Robbie gets back next week and just like, what?
Nope, I'm doing it. There we go. $10. Well spent. You're welcome, Thor.
His belly made noises at me.
Probably leaked on you a little bit too.
Oh.
No, it wasn't sweat.
No, I don't see what the fucking problem is. And the thing is that, again, if you go into these forums, if you go and enter into these discussions, it's just pages upon pages upon pages of what really, to me, at the end of the day, seems like a very deep-seated resentment against women.
Yeah.
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 So, Nika, nothing to add to that?
No.
Do you also resent women?
Nika is taking a big step backwards, just being thankful she's not live in studio. She's never been more grateful for Skype.
You're not wrong.
I'm just saying, it smells a lot like a Foot Locker in here.
It does smell like a Foot Locker in here.
Not
a locker room, a Foot Locker.
Yeah, like a Foot Locker. Exactly.
Yeah, no, you're right. It does smell like
I don't
a
know
Foot
what that
Locker in
is.
here.
That's weird. Yeah. Anyway, all right.
Well, no more erections for me. Rip.
Yeah, that's fair.
Rip in pieces.
Fair enough.
That is fair. I think.
Look forward to our channel being shut down in the near future.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Twitch will end up doing.
I'm not sure if I'll be happier or more sad if we get a ban.
I don't know. I'm kind of ambivalent at this point.
We'll find out.
I'm also ambient too about it.
He's ambient sexual.
Ambient gender. Thank you very much.
That's a gender identifying with being really chill.
Wow.
Or high.
K.
It's high noon.
Well, okay. That was an experience. I lost my page.
For more information on the news and other stories, visit our blog at finalencountercast.com.
Alrighty. Yay.
I can talk
He's on his game today. He's twerking. He's got the news
I feel so free right now.
God. Please, okay.
I did not realize that the quiet cosplay would unlock such a part of your personality.
Without saying anything to Robbie about this, just start next week's show like this. And none of us will act like it's weird in the slightest.
There you go.
Just how many episodes would we have to do it before we get banned?
That's a great question.
That is kind of a good question.
Oh,
Because she was twerking her ass for quite a while.
Yeah, she had that going, and she's had multiple bans. The point is, this is her permanent ban. Her account is shut down.
Yeah, which again I think is really bullshit.
Yeah, it's absolutely bullshit.
I mean, Twitch it needs to be either extremely clear about this, and the fact that they didn't even really give her a real reason, that's really shitty. I mean, Twitch seems to be they enforce things very oddly. I know that we've had complaints against our channel.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Darkstar? Are you kidding? Darkstar alone? So many complaints, I bet.
Oh yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah, but I bet when one channel gets 20 reports from the same person, though, they kind of are like, okay, this person just harassed me.
Yeah, I'm really curious now about like the mechanisms that they use to figure out which channels deserve a permanent ban or not. I think that's a valid question.
We do the experimentation for you. We'll find out.
That's right. We'll see if there's a double standard. I guarantee you there is.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's going to be it here for Final Encountercast. But before we go, we've got one very long email that I'd like to read. But I don't want to actually have to be the one to read it. So
1, 2, 3, not it.
I'm going to volunteer Pascal, or I'm going to Callie or Nika, one of you two.
Oh my god, this is a huge email. I could read it.
Yeah, I think I've read enough today.
You guys didn't do the thing.
Oh yeah, nose goes.
That's.
I mean, I'm.
Is this it? Am I doing it right?
It's a touch.
No, you got to touch your nose with it.
Am I doing it? No, But wait, hang on. Now am I doing it right?
Now he's got it.
I don't like it.
I don't know. You guys are all delayed to me, so I'm the last one, I suppose.
Okay. Go ahead, Nika.
Yep, you got it.
Okay. All right. So, yes, this is very long email. My gosh. Okay. Hey, guys. Matt from Indie writing in to share my 2 cents on last week's topic. Only partway through the discussion via your podcast feed, so please bear with me if you covered this. Okay. I believe the shift in the medium comes not directly from the modern trends of anime, but as a perception that the two anime and JRPGs were linked as far as their audiences are concerned. And while it may be said that the two do have a common market share, it is for different reasons. Anime back in the 80s and 90s when I was growing up was primarily one of 3 genres: war stories, fantasy/science fantasy, and art house. All or most of these shows settle their perspective on the protagonist and take the viewer on that character's journey with a few notable exceptions. While it's true that there were bad actors in the various installments of the Gundam series, many of the villains were humanized and relatable in their motivations, which would inevitably bring them to odds with the protagonist, as neither side had the whole picture. And while the viewer would know why and how these situations came to be, all they could do is act as a witness.
Look, I don't think I would list Gundam as one of the series that I don't like.
Yeah, Gundam was great.
I actually, yeah,
Gundam, Cowboy Bebop?
Some of the later Gundams that came out were not as great. Like Gundam Wing kind of jumped.
That was my first Gundam.
It was mine too. It was mine too.
Okay.
Gundam Wing was mine too. Yeah.
But I was like 12 or 13, and you know, like, but
you're like, sweet giant robots, hell yeah,
dude. When I went back and saw the older Gundams, like, yes, there is some bad acting, but a lot of that is forgivable, and I think, you know, it's forgivable because of partially because of the time period. You know, when you're animating everything by hand, that's a pretty big technical limitation. And so it limits the amount of things that you can do. You want to have a big epic battle. I mean, yeah, you can do that with animation, but what's your budget? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
you know, there are definitely, I'm willing to give you that, you know, the 80s and 90s anime was different, but as soon as they started throwing the like shonen jump shit into the mix is really where the whole quality, and I'm not talking just in terms of like dubs or translation, but I'm talking like from one end of the project to the other, animation, you know, writing, translation, localization, all of that. All of it took a pretty noticeable downward slide after a lot of these intensely serialized shows started becoming very popular.
All right, he continues, JRPGs, while sharing elements of the narrative listed above, rather than take you on someone else's journey, they give the player the reins and make the story their own. Bad guy has your BFF in a torture room, you're going to go rescue them, right? No, I hear there is some sweet-ass loot in this palace somewhere and I want to get that first. Smart and competent developers can program around these tendencies, but then again, why? As long as the player is enjoying themselves, why do any of that and let them create these moments for themselves that they can't do anywhere else? Unless there is a story that you want to convey in a very specific way. Even better, allow your players to chase down this loot, but the delay has dire consequences for their tortured friend. This adds more challenges to the developers, but can lead to a more rewarding experience. I want to say Mass Effect did that. If you take too long to go save the people who get to the collector base, they all die, and it's amazing.
That's cool.
That is really cool.
That's a fun mechanic.
You're basically your ship gets raided and all of your crewmates get captured, and if you take too long to go save them, they all die.
Like, because I always feel that, like when I'm playing Final Fantasy games, I'm always like, what's going on while I'm spending 80 hours grinding out side quests?
Yeah, no, that is kind of an inherent drawback to some RPGs, and you know what?
Especially the ones that are open world now too, because it's one of those things that it's like, you know, follow the story at your own pace, but you're like, okay, you're supposed to be looking for this person who's off on this thing, but if you go and do 10,000 side quests, they're probably gone by now.
I'm really finding that Final Fantasy 15 is suffering from that problem for me.
Oh, it does, definitely. There's a bit of some narrative issues with 15, but it's.
I wish, at least with 15 specifically, I wish they were a little bit more clear about when the story was going to be advancing to a point where you're going to lose out on doing stuff. I mean, every once you'll get a dialogue.
There's not really a point. Like, you'll get to the very end and they're still do you want to go back and do stuff? And you're like, yes, and it like teleports you.
Yeah, you do have the long period of time. It's when you
can do it even in the last fucking chapter.
Yeah, you do get a chance to eventually go back, but yeah, like the point of no return that you're talking about is when you finally set sail for the other nations.
But it's not though. It's not though, because after 5 minutes you can go into the hotel and be like, "Do you want to go to the past?" And you click yes, and you just like dream it away.
Fair enough.
Like you can go back literally until the very final thing. You're about to storm the castle for the final boss, and you're like, "Do you want to visit your past?" You're like, okay, like you can do it for the entire game. It's not even.
Well, again, this is an inherent problem structurally that open world games have, and yeah, I think that again, as the emailer points out, JRPGs were really kind of good about that.
Yeah, like I think of Morrowind, one of my all-time favorite games, but every time I play that game, it's kind of the same thing. I get to the first city, Balmora, I become Master of the Thieves Guild, the Mages Guild, and the Fighters Guild. I rule the effing world, and then it's like, oh, right, I got to go back and start the storyline.
Yeah.
And then they're like, welcome, brigand from another land. I'm like, I own half this city.
Yeah, right.
I'm your boss.
Oh man, yeah, it is a pretty consistent problem. But and I hope this is sort of where the emailer is sort of working his way towards. But I sort of feel like the problem started to become that at some point Japanese developed games, because anime was so financially successful, really just started chasing that audience,
that dollar.
Yeah, and because if you spend so much time chasing that audience and working in all of those tropes and all of those, you know, cultural identifiers, it really has a way of alienating people like myself who are not into that culture at all. So that's sort of the way I feel about it.
All right. That being said, back in the 8-bit and 16-bit era, space for these kinds of innovations were solely limited due to the tech of the time. Western RPGs at the time had it better, but not by much, as the market for these titles was limited to the few families who could afford an expensive personal computer. These limitations on what stories you could tell with JRPGs forced the developers to rely heavily on the game mechanics and the power of their players' suspension of disbelief to convey the impact of the narrative. Take FF4, for example. Early in the game, Kain and Cecil travel to the Village of Mist and unknowingly unleash a conflagration which kills everyone except Rydia. Due to her village's destruction, she refuses to cast fire spells, and this carries over into gameplay, not allowing players to access to her fire magic until she comes to grips with her sense of loss and frustration. Once empowered to change her fate and avenge her mother's death, the magic becomes available for the players to use.
That is one of those little like narrative touches, like one of those, you know, just subtle hints that I feel like game developers would probably ignore these days because of in favor of balancing. That, you know, you'd be like, oh well, you can just ignore the fact that she's using fire, and you can choose not to ever use fire. But it's actually different when the game places restrictions on you for a narrative reason.
You remember FF9? Garnet has the summons, but doesn't ever have the MP to actually cast them.
Yeah,
What a fucking blue ball.
But I mean that kind of stuff is super clever, and yeah, it's something that JRPGs used to do a lot that I feel like has since fallen off.
All right. With the advent of the 32-bit machines and their CD-ROM drives with nearly 20 to 30 times the available storage space of the previous generation's cartridge, developers had room to add more graphical and auditory fidelity. While MIDI BGMs were still common, more and more titles offered live orchestrated soundtracks, and polygonal graphical engines slowly replaced the traditional sprites. This was also the time when bigger budget developers poured resources into creating flashy set pieces and full motion cutscenes to convey the story directly. While these allowed the developers to wow their audience and introduce themselves to an enthusiastic new generation of gamers to their franchises, it began to erode the very trait that made their previous titles to hold their own in the marketplace, namely gameplay.
Interesting.
I do remember thinking early on, like my first real introductions to JRPGs was FF8 and 9.
Sure.
And I remember with 9, getting to the cutscene where Bahamut destroys Alexandria, basically. And
Spoiler.
That cutscene felt like such a reward when I got to it. I came out of that cutscene like, man, that was awesome.
You know what? I really felt that with Chrono Cross as well as Legend of Dragoon. Those two games specifically, I felt very rewarded every time a cutscene came on, and I would sit rapt with attention as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
Chrono Cross's battle system for me was like too disjointed.
I loved every. It's because you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You're part of Dumb Club.
No, Chrono Cross. Honest to God, is one of my all-time favorite games.
It just has too many characters.
And dumb plot twist.
The story.
Oh no! Oh no! Well, okay, I will give you that the story does suffer because of it, but I don't think that any of the plot twists were dumb. I think that is a game that holds together very, very well.
Body switching isn't a thing that's dumb.
Not the way that they did it.
I never ended up beating it, so I guess I don't have that big of
a opinion, but
you
don't even know.
It bothered me, and I hated the battle system.
And you don't understand because like half of the story was at like right before the end boss room too. So if you didn't beat
half
the game,
of the story is before the end boss.
No, just a shit. No, all of.
Look,
no, that's not true.
You just don't understand the game. Then
no,
there's everything there.
No,
okay,
that's okay. Hang on.
Okay,
hang on.
Have you played Chrono Cross since you've become a 25-plus-year-old adult? Replay it and see if it still holds weight.
Yeah,
I have it. I have to know if you still feel the same.
I have it on my Vita. I've played through half of it last year,
and it still feels the same to you.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's still just as good. The music is still just as good. Oh man, I love the music. The battle system is still just as good. I love that game. But hang on, Chris, that statement is only fair if you're talking about the connections to Chrono Trigger. All of those come right before the end boss. That's it, though. That's it. No, the rest of the narrative, the rest of the narrative is extremely well paced.
It's okay, Daddy. It's okay.
God damn you!
You are justified. Don't worry. We'll have it out in the bedroom later on. It's okay.
This email still has like 2 pages to go. So
oh my God.
Yeah, we're not even close to the end.
All right. Final Fantasy VII, while endearing itself with a rapidly devoted fan base, suffered with a number of bugs and game-breaking glitches that had been largely absent from previous titles in the series. This, coupled with the largely unchanged active battle system employed for the combat encounters, as well as the lack of mechanical diversity among the cast of characters, seemed to point to the idea that the gameplay was becoming less and less important in the scheme of the development cycle. Don't get me wrong, Robbie. I enjoyed multiple playthroughs of FF7, but I believe this to be where the trend begins. If we continue on with the Final Fantasy franchise, we see in the 8th installment that once again the rework for not only their polygonal graphics engine, but the combat as well with the introduction of the controversial junction system. This essentially changed the formula for advancement from grinding for XP to stealing spells from enemies to increase the character's stats. And while this allowed for a measure of customization of the roster of characters, as with FF7, there was very little to differentiate the combat style of one from the others. That, and if you do level up, bosses get more difficult, and you don't want to use your more powerful spells, since the fewer you have, the less powerful you become.
I don't know. I always, first of all, I always thought Materia was a really kind of...
it's really good system.
Yeah, like for how simple it is, it holds together really
they
well.
let you, I mean, I understand, though, that they feel that every character becomes the same in that case.
Yeah.
Yes, that is
especially
true.
with FF10, when you can have everyone do the entire sphere grid, so I totally see
that is true.
The Final Fantasy kind of doing that, but I don't know. I do think that having that kind of customization still allows for more control over the game, and in that case I feel like that's kind of what you want, right? Like you want to be able to be like, well, I want this person to be my healer, so I'm gonna make this person. But even still, like Aerith had the healing spells more so like inherently like in her limit break and stuff, and she had more MP, so even if you wanted to make Barrett your healer, you could, but it would be harder.
Well, like I don't know, for example, I think I get what he's saying, because if you look at like FF9 was sort of like a step backward more towards like a job
FF9
system.
was like what FF5 kind of did.
Yeah, it was, but it was sort of like a streamlined version of that. Like the gem system that they had with that was a little like, it was a little bit like Materia, but it was also a little bit like the job system too. Like each character had a different job that you were sort of like leaning into their ability to do the job with additional.
Once you mastered it, you could use it while combining it with other stuff.
Right. Yeah. So I mean,
FF9.
Well, the abilities you
FF9
learned
gems, once you mastered it, then you could equip it without having the gem equipped.
Something like that.
No, you could if you had the weapon that gave it to you, then you could equip that gem without having to master it. Once you mastered it, then you could use a different weapon and still have that ability available to you. No, you had to always spend those gems to have those abilities.
Right. Yeah. But again, it's a very streamlined system when you compare that up against the strict job system that existed in something like FF5 or FF3, which is where you get. I mean, and it was 6 going into 7 where you got a lot of the not just characterization, because I mean I think the characters really sort of kept a lot of their uniqueness in between 6 and 7, but where characters played differently based, your party composition mattered, that sort of thing. Those sorts of edges got smoothed out, and I do think that this is a concession that the dev team behind FF7 had to consciously consider when making the decision to kill Aerith, because once you no longer have a healer and God damn it. Once you no longer have a healer in your party, you've got to be able to keep your healing materia and your healing spells, your healing capabilities onto other party members. And so there had to be that flexibility built into the system, or else you would have just fucking had your white mage killed and you would have been fucked. And unless they ended up just arbitrarily replacing the character like 2 scenes later. So
Galif.
I think right.
Galif, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so,
no, that kind of mechanic really bothers me when it's like, okay, someone dies and you need to feel that loss, but let's replace it with a perfectly identical character gameplay wise.
Yes, exactly. That is a really shitty way to do it, and I think that what FF7 did with their flexibility and their way to think around that problem is really inventive. But I do think that, when you try to go back to a more job-based system, you end up with something like the FF9 Gems system, which is okay, but it definitely was not on the level of Materia. Materia was fucking great.
At the same time, 9 was the only one where the characters didn't end up feeling samey. 9 was the one where the characters were all very different.
Well, we haven't read his
It's a
opinion on
trade-off.
9 yet.
There's a trade-off
He starts to fire them off.
There's definitely a trade-off there.
Let's see. He says, rapid fire now. FF9 is seeming return to form with a diverse and unique power set for each member of the cast and the traditional level-based progression. Overall, a well-rounded and beloved entry to the series, despite criticism for the character design and some questionable storytelling at the end.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's all remarkably fair. I agree with all of that, yeah.
All right, FF10, better hardware and graphics and larger storage medium this time did not yield the same result as 7 did. Graphically superior to its predecessors and introduced voice talent for the first time to the series. Also created a hot swap mechanic to combat to rotate in other party members on the fly that spawned a few copycats throughout the RPG world for the next few years. This, however, came at the cost of the freedom to explore the overworld. Still a good entry despite the hand-holding and very linear story arc. He didn't even mention the sphere grid and how it makes everyone samey.
Everyone's the same in the sphere grid.
Literally everyone.
At the end of the game, it's not, you can't really count that as being samey if it's at the very end when you decide to grind for 20 hours.
Yeah, because everyone starts on a different part of the sphere grid because everyone has their strengths, and then if you choose to grind everything out, then
I mean you can't unlock into the next part of the sphere grid until you reach a certain point in the game, right? Isn't there like a lock sphere that you have to get a certain level before you can?
And you can only get them at certain.
But you can use teleport spheres to go wherever you want.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, but you can't say Yuna plays the same as Riku in 10 in the main part of the game.
Because nobody else can summon.
That's true. That's true. Fair. I mean, but you do see, though, as time goes on, you're making more and more concessions until you've got this, if you look at 15, FF15 is like the most streamlined system that we have. There's differences between the different characters, but you don't even play the different characters. You only play Noctis.
And you cut equipment out.
Yeah, you have.
Well, they have accessories. There's accessories.
There's accessories. But I mean, you have limited commands that you can tell your party members to do, but otherwise you're fucking Noctis the entire time, which is an additional concession on the Final Fantasy format. So
the battle system is really fun.
I'm not going to deny that. It is actually a remarkably fun system. But you do have to admit that in terms of your Final Fantasy format, it has always been a staple of the game to make your party composition whatever you feel is the most, the best in that situation.
FF15 took a lot of risks in its storytelling and a lot of things. I feel like they did a benefit to the storytelling by having it to be only those 3 party members. You can't change anyone else to change your playstyle because the story is based around the relationships between the characters. So if you could just swap out somebody for someone else, you would lose that whole dynamic. So it was a different type of storytelling. So you have to look at it a little bit differently than like FF10, I guess. I don't know.
I'm just saying it's an additional concession that we've made as players throughout the Final Fantasy format. Just saying.
That's fair.
All right.
All right. The next thing he says, 10-2, no, just no. The wrong lessons were learned here. Kill it with fire. But to be fair, FF10-2's battle system was very good. The rest of the game, not as much. But the battle system was fantastic.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think anybody I know who doesn't like the battle system from 10-2.
It would just be better if it was 3 guys instead of 3 girls, really. If I had
You want to watch 3 guys play dress up and...
Yeah, with Braska, Auron, and Jack. Man, I'd play the shit out of that game.
But they have to have the same shorts.
Don't worry, because that game might actually be a game. So
No.
I don't know. I don't know. There's a 10-3 that is supposedly in development. I don't know what the fucking storyline is.
I would play the shit out of a game where we go in Braska's pilgrimage and we get to see more about Jack and Auron, absolutely, but I can't ever see them making that game.
Only if he plays shirtless. Jack.
All right, let's finish this email. It's too long.
Skipping 11 and 14 due to the MMO format. FF12, while having a cast of 6, it is overburdened by at least 2 members whose contributions to the story are scant at best. Once again, opting for customization over a mechanically diverse party, this game is brought down by the player's inability to play more than one character directly in a 3-person party. The other's actions are determined by whatever triggers were set up in their Gambit's menu, and navigating the licensed tree is about as fun as the game of Marco Polo with 5 participants while chained to an anvil. Ouch.
Okay.
I didn't think it was that bad, but all right. Yeah. FF13 and its iterations were meant to be a showcase of the power of the newer 256-bit systems, but labored under the impression that fans of the series preferred an experience that was narrow, unrefined, bland, and on autopilot. Sadly, all the wrong choices that had been made for previous entries in the franchise found a nesting ground here and began to breed sequel after saddening sequel. In summation, I just want to say that what made the earlier entries in FF series and other JRPGs great was that the story was made to service the mechanics of the game, not the other way around. Rather than a guided tour to someone else's journey, they were a testament on what the player can achieve if they hone skills and strategies over the hours of play. It was about exploration, discovery, and of taking on powerful foes with a band of friends and winning by the skin of your teeth. Victory came not as a given, but had to be earned through hard effort and a little luck. If modern JRPGs seem like anime, it's because the characters you play nowadays are there to take you on an amusement park ride rather than stand by your side as you open the moldy old doors of a necropolis populated by the Walking Dead. And now, because the hardware can do so much, the development team spends more time on the fidelity of the visual aesthetics than to give the player more than the occasional challenge.
No, but the JRPGs that I was talking about, I wasn't just talking about Final Fantasy. I think Final Fantasy is probably one of the JRPGs that takes the least amount of influence from anime.
13 notwithstanding.
Yeah,
13 notwithstanding.
Even so, though, because 13 took risks with its gameplay choice. I mean, granted, bad risks, but they still took risks. It wasn't.
I will even agree with that. But what I'm talking about are these fucking games where every character design is straight out of fucking Inuyasha or some shit. That's what I'm talking about. The fucking Yeast games are like, there's so many. Look on the Vita marketplace.
Ugh.
Just like scroll through the Vita marketplace. If you can find a game that doesn't look like it was taken out of Crunchyroll's queue list, then I'll be really impressed.
And guys, first of all, that was actually a very well written email. But if you're going to go out there and you're looking to email us, maybe don't write us an email that like justifies using the words "in summation."
Yeah.
Because holy cow.
There's still one more paragraph, guys.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It says, sorry for the textbook-sized email, but I felt that I should put this in since I missed out on the show. I hope you found my examples illustrative or at least amusing. Feel free to skip reading them on the air if you find it too long for time's sake.
Oh, now you tell us.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
We started this email 20 minutes ago. I love what you guys do, so please keep it up. Matt from Indy, a.k.a. Paul Bunyan.
Thank you very much, Matt. We appreciate the email. It's nice to hear from you, and appreciate your thoughts on the matter. I think that, honestly, I really do think that JRPGs just really saw a market that they could hit with trying to imitate anime. And that it's a safe, boring, and easy decision for them to make.
Why would you want to make a game where all your main characters are literal carbon copies of all the anime tropes?
Well, here's the problem: is at first it really worked. I don't care for it nowadays.
People spend bajillions of dollars on that shit. That's why.
But the Dot Hack series was a lot of fun. Like, I really enjoyed most of those games.
I'm not saying that there aren't good games in the mix. But I'm saying that, like, it gets monotonous.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean, though. Like, at first, I think there was a lot of really good examples of it working, and people thought, oh, this is the way to go.
Right.
And that's why we see so much of it today.
But it's not even stuff that is directly tied to an anime IP. It's just stuff that looks like it's anime characters again. You know what I mean? Like, that gets and some of that has to do with, you know, the hardware. Back on SNES and even on PlayStation 1, you couldn't really replicate anime characters as well as you can now. Like, now you can completely articulate, you know, an anime character in a game and have that translate on a sort of 1-to-1 scale. You couldn't do that back when you were doing sprites.
Right.
Or at least, you know, depending on how big your sprites were. I don't know. Anyway,
maybe you could. I don't know.
I don't think. I mean, if you consider Chrono Trigger, right? Like, all of the art and all of the character designs were done by
Dragon Ball Z guy.
The Dragon Ball Z guy,
Toriyama.
Thank you.
Sure.
And you can tell that from the sprite art.
Mm-hmm.
It's really obvious when you're playing through the game. You don't need to see a single piece of media outside that to go, oh yeah, this kind of looks like a little bit like Dragon Ball.
The first time I saw that giant dinosaur come in, I was like, hey, wait a minute, I just saw him in an episode of Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
that's the same character.
So I mean, to me, it could be done. Lunar was another one that seemed very sort of influenced by anime, but like the JRPGs that I really enjoyed when I was growing up, like your Chrono Crosses, you know, PS1 was a big era for me. Legend of Dragoon. I think that was a Japanese developed. It was Sony, but I think that was Japanese developed. But you know, these games did not mimic anime and did not go out of their way to either mimic anime tropes or anime character designs. And so that's what, you know, when I look at it, I'm like, well, that's what this game does, and I fucking hate it to where it's like making my skin crawl. But this one decided not, you know, they didn't make those decisions, and I really like this game.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you kind of look at it like that, like that's sort of what the discussion was born out of. Anyway, all right. I think that's going to do it here for Final Encountercast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in.
What is with this? Can you explain the Chris bot?
I sound like a 90s robot.
Why? Well, why? Why would you?
Do you need a reason?
Yes, I'm asking you why.
He is DB69, Human Cyborg Relations.
Why? Yeah. Where did this come from?
The joke spawned from your initial introduction.
He said he was trying to make fun of you for sounding very robotic when you introed this episode.
It really wasn't.
It was.
I didn't think so.
I don't think it was.
I promise.
No more than normal.
Was.
No more than normal. Anyway, thank you guys.
Also, this is called Bookends. I have to close the show as
you literally don't. You absolutely don't.
I'm too far in.
Okay, enough. I'm literally. I'm hovering over the button. Anyway, thanks for joining us on Final Encountercast. If you're listening to the show live, thank you so much for checking out the show. FinalEncountercast.com is the website to find a full archive of our show. If you tuned in last week and we weren't here, thanks for being patient with us. We're
back. It was Christmas. We have places to be.
We enjoyed taking last week off, and we appreciate you letting us do that. Just by the way, to our chat room, I just want to say, Mammary Bland
is a cool dude.
He made mention thousands spent on microphones and only 102 viewers.
Woo!
It's kind of funny that they mention this because we do have very expensive equipment.
Yeah.
So expensive and so nice, in fact, that a whole nother podcast is actually paying us a quite considerable amount of money every single week to come in and use our equipment to do their show. So that's pretty marketable. And I mean, like, if you want us to feel bad about how many people are watching, I don't. I mean, we do quite well.
Not to mention, most of this was paid for by fans of the show.
It was paid for, yeah. It's paid for up front. I don't know. I don't know where you're getting your info. I don't know where you're, where you think you're getting one off on us, but there hasn't been a single comment that you've put into this fucking chat room all night that has even gotten close to getting up on us.
Oh, he's been trying to troll us for weeks.
Oh, no, I know, and it's getting sad.
I laughed.
It's getting sad.
Much low effort.
It really is. It's like a D- effort.
Give me Snarky Barky back.
Seriously. At least he made videos.
He made a great video.
Go back to your original account, Dark Star.
All right, make it stop.
There you go.
Make this stop, please.
All right, that's going to be it here for Final Encounter Cast. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you hanging out. And join us next week, Sundays at 5 o'clock here at twitch.tv/Final Encounter Cast. Although, that schedule might be changing, just so you know.
Gasp.
A lot of it may have to do with whether or not this channel is banned. Just saying. Anyway, thanks guys so much. FinalEncounterCast.com is the website. Hit that follow button if it's your first time joining us. Big shout out to my my support crew who just did not decide to show up. So
fuck you guys.
Thanks, Papa and Kooky, I guess. Anyway, no thanks to Skuro. I don't know if he's still hanging out, but fuck him. And thank you to my crew. Nosferatu, Callie, Nika. My name's Nate. Have a good one. Final Encounter Cast is a production of FinalEncounterCast.com, Limit Break Radio, and Bender Media Productions. Today's episode was produced by Robbie Landis. This show is made possible by the generous Patreon donors of the podcast Limit Break Radio. Opening music provided by Keyboard Kid. More info and music can be found at keyboardkid206.bandcamp.com. Closing music provided by Sobsy. For more info, visit sobsy.bandcamp.com. For links to articles mentioned on this show, check out our live blog at FinalEncounterCast.com. Final Encounter Cast and its hosts are solely responsible for its content.